Here's Business Spotlight from your local voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990. And here's your host, George Bryant.
Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. Another great day in the Mid-South, and special day on Tuesdays. We get to turn our spotlight on one of our fabulous business partners, Triumph Bank. We've got a segment we've been doing called Let's Talk Growth with Tracy Strickland. Tracy, welcome.
Good morning, George. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fabulous. It's good to see you as always. And
you too.
What's been great about this segment, we get a chance to turn our spotlight on a fabulous local bank. They are a community bank, Triumph Bank, and they've got a fabulous website. I want to mention that, so in case you want to, our listeners want to go check that out. TriumphBank.com started in 2006, back when everybody goes, what in the world are you doing?
That's right. I know. Just a few months before the economy completely tanked.
It was a little challenging, but today you guys are really prospering. You have 4 locations throughout the Mid-South. Yes. It's real convenient to do banking with you guys because you've got the online element. That's
absolutely
easy.
Mobile for business and personal. We try to offer all the high technology that some of the big banks can do just in our small shop. So we're very
Great bank, and we appreciate you being in here. And we've had a wonderful time of getting to know a lot about banking and Triumph Bank, but also you guys are doing this incredible workshop coming up. It's Business Triumphs on October 3rd.
That's right.
And you have been giving us a sneak preview with some of the guests that are going to be
I thought
speaking.
It would be a great opportunity for the listeners to be able to meet some of the speakers before they come to the event. We do encourage everybody to join us on October 3rd at 3:30 at the FedEx Institute of Technology. We will have some fantastic speakers. I'm really thankful to have our special guest. And when you talk about the beginning of Triumph, it's very apropos because my guest is Mitchell Spurlock, and he was one of our founding board members back in 2006. He is a native Memphian, grew up in Whitehaven. And, you know, we've talked over the past several weeks about just Memphis being one of the most entrepreneurial communities. And so I call Mitchell kind of a serial entrepreneur. So welcome, Mitchell. I would love for you just to say, like, what inspired you initially, very quickly, just to start all of these businesses? You've bought and sold a lot of businesses, but what was your impetus for all that?
Well, first of all, good morning, Tracy. And it's an honor for me to be here today and spend time with you and George. But you know, I guess like most Memphians, I used to make a reference point of there's 4 types of people that live in Memphis. Those who do business with FedEx and those who want to, and those who work for Federal Express and those who want to. And I was one of the fortunate ones that came out of college and went to work for a nice startup company. And I guess that just being there, I didn't grow up thinking about entrepreneurship. My father was a 30-year employee. We retire with a gold watch, and I just assumed that's what everyone else got. But being around Federal Express, watching what Mr. Smith and all the senior executives did in a short period of time, just kind of, you can't help but catch the bug.
There's a passion that he shared with the team, and you just wanted to be part of it and know that you could start your own.
Well, it was amazing when we first went to work there, and they talked about an overnight letter, and I used to think, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and it just created a whole industry within itself, and so that was the neat thing about being there from the early years.
We're talking with Mitchell Spurlock. He is the chairman of Power Logistics and Freight Service right here in Memphis and around the world. And we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Business Triumphs on October 3rd workshop and Mitchell Spurlock. You're listening to The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Now back to Business Spotlight on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Welcome back to our studios. Today we've got our spotlight on Triumph Bank, our segment we've been doing, Let's Talk Growth. And our host in the house, Tracy Strickland, and her special guest, Mitchell Spurlock. Welcome back to our studios.
Thanks so much. Well, our focus for the Business Triumphs event is developing a strong exit strategy for your business. And one of the main reasons that we invited Mitchell is not only, is he a fantastic board member, has been part of our Triumph family since the beginning, but he has bought and sold very successfully many businesses over the years. And so one thing when we've talked the past few times, Mitchell, one of the things that I don't think some business owners think about is, you've got your eye on the prize and I want to sell my business in, say, 6 to 9 months. But then there's that reality where I have to run my business at the same time. So can you talk about how you balanced or continuing to balance those two things at the same time?
Sure. I think as any entrepreneur, where you got your hands just on the company and, truly like most startup businesses, you truly are you provide the vision, direction, and you kind of oversee things. And then when you finally do reach the point of, I want to, get out of the business, sell it, take some money off the table for whatever reason, the business still has to run. And I think one of the critical things that a lot of people do is then they start focusing on the actual sell of the business and forget that you actually have a business to run.
Right.
So I think probably the most important things to do is when you reach that point of, okay, I'm going to put the business out to the public to sell, is to outsource to some key, first of all, have an attorney that knows a lot about M&A just come in, have an outside accounting firm that's going to handle all the answer the questions of all the pursuers on, and those kind of things are just important because, your CFO, the COO, yourself, your vice president of sales, they got to keep doing what they've been doing. They have a 40-hour work week already.
Exactly. Well, I know you mentioned having the M&A attorney, but what other advisors do you feel like you need to have around you when you've been contemplating selling your business and gone through that process? What are those key people you've got to have in place?
Well, of course, the first thing is you have to contact someone. We use KPMG for us, but you contact somebody who has a national presence, a national scoreboard out there that can actually get your name or a teaser in front of the people that are going to be interested in purchasing your company. And then again, you just have to, once you get it, go through it, it'll just kind of all come together.
Exactly. When you also mentioned, since you've been also buying businesses, having your CFO involved and that sort of thing. Can you talk about us on the flip side when you're looking to buy a business?
Exactly. As I said, now all you do is just turn it around, Tracy. You have to have advisors now, instead of them answering questions of the companies that are pursuing you. Now they're the ones asking the questions. And it becomes really important that you have to just get yourself time management organized to where, okay, I'm going to spend, 2 hours on every Monday morning, reviewing the due diligence with the data that we're capturing. Because, ultimately you got to take off that hat and go back to running the business.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited to have you as part of this. I know we had Mike Bruns in 3 or 4 weeks ago to have 2 men who have gone through the process of selling their own business, not only just serving as an advisor, but living it and breathing it. I think our listeners, when they come to the event, are going to learn a lot. So thanks for sharing about that. We're looking forward to that event on October 3rd.
We're talking with Mitchell Spurlock. He is the chairman of Power Logistics and Freight Service. Also, our host, Tracy Strickland. She is the Senior Vice President for Marketing for Triumph Bank. Let's talk growth. We'll continue right after this break. You're listening to The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Now back to Business Spotlight on The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Welcome back to our studios. Let's talk growth with Triumph Bank and our host, Tracy Strickland. Her special guest in the house today, Mitchell Spurlock. He is the chairman of Power Logistics and Freight Service. And we are talking about an exciting event that is coming up, and we're getting a little taste of that this morning. But your Business Triumphs, it's a workshop. I guess it's free.
It is. It's free. It's 1 week from today on October 3rd. It's from 3:30 to 5:30. So it's close to the end of that work day. You're going to hear from a keynote speaker, Rob Wolf, who's coming in from Fort Lauderdale to talk about just pitfalls that some business owners go through when selling their business. And then we're bringing this awesome local panel of all-star experts, included with Mitchell. We've mentioned Mike Bruns, but also Chip Marston, who's the CEO and senior partner for the Marston Group. John Babango, who joined us last week with Ferris Babango, and then Jeffrey Meskin, who's the partner and head of private banking and private equity, a firm up in New York City called Brown Brothers Harriman. So we do have an all-star panel.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
super excited about that. And one of the things I wanted to ask Mitchell is, as a business owner looking to sell your business, I'm assuming there's a ton of different options, a lot of different ways you could go if you had a family member to pass that business on to or to sell to a competitor. But I know that you have chosen one particular route this whole time, and that is to really focus on attracting those private equity firms. Can you talk to us about why you've decided to go that route?
Sure. And like you said, there are a couple of different things to people you can sell to. And like I'm sure Mike touched on, he sold to a strategic purchaser, but we've always looked at going to private equity. And I guess the reason being is, one, you're able to protect your management team a little bit more because these people are basically coming in and putting cash in a business. They're going to oversee the business, but they expect your team and your guys to continue to run it. So, and they seem to be a little bit more generous with the go forward plan. Because again, you have the responsibility of the CFO and the COO and their families at your heart.
That's right.
And while they may have spent 15 years helping you build your dream and cashing out, you want to make sure that you leave something for them. So private equity guys tend to have, they're lenient with stock options for them based on yearly EBITDA growth, which is important. And it just give them a chance to enjoy as I refer to it, as the golden egg.
That's right. Well, I mean, because your success is only measured really upon the success of your team and making sure you've got those right people in place. So having their futures in mind, it's such a very valid point and so important. I know your father is a very big part of your life and a very special person to you, and he's been involved in your whole career. Can you talk about that?
Sure. My dad he's 90 going on 40. He's the most amazing
awesome.
man I know. And he actually has been involved in the business with me. He, like I said, he was a 30-year employee for U.S. Steel, came to work for his knucklehead son. And then he's still very active in the family business. Quite frankly, as my daughter and wife are too. So it's a kind of a family.
What do you think what kind of advice does he give you from time to time? Do you think is like his best advice?
I think treat people fairly, be honest, have integrity. And then, of course, my father was a true leader and he was an amazing man. And he used to have a sign on his desk and it used to say, lead, follow, or get the heck out of the way.
Wow.
And I think that was probably the cornerstone of what I did.
Yes. Well, and it's very evident with the kind of man that you are and the kind of leader you are with all your companies. So thankful to have you as a friend. And of course, such an integral part of our Triumph team is on our board. So thank you for joining me. Yes.
We've been talking with Mitchell Spurlock. He is the chairman of Power Logistics and Freight Service, one of the exciting speakers that's going to be at the October 3rd workshop with Triumph Bank Business Triumphs. What a fabulous offering that you're giving back, you and the bank are giving back, Tracy, to our community. And it's not too late to sign up for
That's right. You just have a few days left. Please just go to our website, triumphbank.com. As soon as you hit our homepage, you will see the big banner advertising the event. You just click onto that. Very quick online registration. We will look forward to seeing you all on October 3rd.
Absolutely. So don't miss it. And we'll see you back next week, 7:30, right here on FM 107.9 and AM 990. Have a great day, Tracy.
You too.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
You're listening to The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.